You probably don't feel powerful right now. You look at your bank balance, your paycheck, your savings account, and it feels small. Now the numbers don't add up. You scroll, compare, calculate, and somehow everything still feels out of reach. And yet, hidden behind that sense of not enough might just be the most asymmetric opportunity of your lifetime. Because somewhere inside your phone, sitting quietly, is a digital wallet. And there might be 0.01, 1 million satoshis worth of Bitcoin, just a fragment of code. But it holds more potential energy than most people will ever realise in their entire life. Now, not because of price, not because of hype, but because of what it represents. See, 0.01 worth of Bitcoin isn't just money. It's a mirror. It reflects what kind of person you are becoming in a collapsing system. Now, if you haven't stacked your first 0.01 worth of Bitcoin, your 1 million satoshis, then come and check out this playbook which I have called the Stacker. Now, this is also completely free, and what I'll do is link this down in the description below. See, most people measure power through possession. How many dollars, how many likes, how many things. But power has never really come from what you own. It comes from what you understand. And the reason 0.01 worth of Bitcoin matters isn't because it's a piece of Bitcoin, it's because it's a proof of awareness. It says you saw the pattern before the rest of the world did. And you understand the problem wasn't wealth inequality, it was monetary inequality. You realise that the system doesn't reward productivity anymore. It rewards proximity. Proximity to the money printer, proximity to cheap debt, and proximity to power. So while everyone else keeps chasing higher salaries, you're stacking digital property that can't be printed, frozen, or inflated away. Now that's not just a financial move, that's an identity shift. Because here's the thing, 0.01 worth of Bitcoin isn't just a fraction of a coin, it's a stake in a parallel civilization. A world where the rules are open source, where ownership is verifiable, and where money doesn't care about your passport, your past, or your permission. And every sat you own represents time. Time you've extracted from the old world and stored in a system that honours it. And when you hold Bitcoin, you're not speculating. You're reclaiming your time from the treadmill. You're saying, my effort will no longer be measured in melting paper. And that's what most people miss. They look at 0.01 worth of Bitcoin, which is 1 million satoshis, and think it's small. But in a finite system, small things compound exponentially. See, let's go ahead and zoom out. Every great shift in history starts with disbelief. Gold was a shiny rock until kings realised it couldn't be faked. The internet was just a toy until it rewired global communication. And Bitcoin is just code until people realise it rewired trust. And right now, 0.01, 1 million satoshis, seems small until the world runs out of Bitcoin to buy. Because mathematically, there's not enough Bitcoin for every millionaire to own a full coin. And not even close. So when Bitcoin becomes the global reserve asset, not if, but when, 0.01 worth of Bitcoin becomes the new millionaire threshold. The quiet line that separates those who saw it coming from those who didn't. And that's why I call 0.01 worth of Bitcoin a psychological passport. It gets you into a new game where you stop asking what's the dollar price and you start asking how much sovereignty can I store in this. See, a friend of mine once laughed when I told him this. He said 0.01 worth of Bitcoin is nothing. It's not even $1,000, and that won't change my life. But I smiled and said it already has. Because if you own 0.01 worth of Bitcoin, you've already changed your relationship with the system. You've proven to yourself that you can take action before approval. You've proven that you can save in something the crowd doesn't understand yet. And you've proven that you can delay gratification in a world addicted to speed. Now that's power. And not because of what it's worth today, but because of who you become while holding it. Now 0.01 worth of Bitcoin is more than just money. It's compressed truth. And every sat inside that fraction represents energy that can't be faked, work that can't be diluted, and value that can't be censored. And it's a small piece of incorruptibility, and when you hold it, you start becoming incorruptible too. Because Bitcoin doesn't just change your portfolio, it changes your psychology. You stop thinking in dollars, you start thinking in time, in energy, in proof of work. And that's the hidden power most people never feel. They think Bitcoin is just digital gold, but it's really digital discipline. And discipline compounds faster than any interest rate. So now let's go ahead and zoom out even further, because every empire collapses the same way. They print more to buy time, and every individual inside that empire faces the same decision: stay comfortable or defect early. And owning 0.01, your 1 million sats, is that defection point. It's you stepping off the Titanic while everyone else is still debating whether the ship is really sinking. But here's the twist. Most people won't realise what's happened until it's game over, until their savings are policy tools, until their dollars are expiration coded, and until they realise their freedom was leased. But by then, those who held 0.01 worth of Bitcoin will be living on an entirely different timeline. They won't be rich because Bitcoin went up. They'll be free because fiat went down. And when you hold 0.01 worth of Bitcoin, you're not betting on Bitcoin. You're betting on yourself, your ability to see what others can't and wait longer than they will. Because money is just stored time, and Bitcoin is time that can't be stolen. And that's why even tiny amounts matters, because it's not about owning a lot, it's about owning honest time. And that honesty radiates into everything you do. You start asking deeper questions. You stop trading your energy for approval. And you start valuing stillness over busyness, clarity over clout, and truth over trend. And you stop living like a consumer, and you start thinking like a builder. And that's the real reward. See, the fiat world measures wealth in digits. Bitcoin measures wealth in durability. Fiat rewards motion, endless productivity for melting returns. But Bitcoin rewards stillness, patience, conviction, sovereignty. So when you hold 0.01 worth of Bitcoin, you're not behind, you're ahead, because you've already exited the mental inflation trap. You've realised that wealth isn't about accumulation, it's about insulation, protecting your time, energy, and truth from systems that devalue all three. So 0.01 worth of Bitcoin is your firewall. It's the smallest position with the largest asymmetric upside. Now, not just financially, but spiritually. Because when you know your value can't be printed away, you stop seeking validation from systems that were never built for you to win. Now, here's the irony. Most people will spend their entire lives chasing numbers that lose meaning. But a few will quietly hold a few 100,000 sats and change the trajectory of their entire lineage. Now, not because they invested early, but because they saw clearly. And if that's you, if you're holding even 0.01 worth of Bitcoin, your 1 million satoshis, well, you've already crossed the line from consumer to creator, from citizen to sovereign, and you're no longer waiting for permission, you're building your own standard. And in that new era, well, that's the highest form of wealth there is. So if you've ever felt small, behind, or late, just remember this. 0.01 worth of Bitcoin is not a consolation prize. It's a declaration. It says, I understand the game. I choose time over noise. And I refuse to be printed. Because power doesn't come from how much you have, it comes from what you refuse to lose. And 0.01 worth of Bitcoin, though it does look small, might be the most powerful refusal you'll ever make. Now, one last time, I'm just going to quickly chuck this in here again. If you do want to come and check this out, this is completely free, and I'll link this down in the description below. Now, if you've made it this far, and if you're not too sure what to watch next, well, I have this playlist for you just here, which you can go ahead and binge watch if you enjoy watching my content, or if you just want to watch a single little video, you can watch this one just here, which is recommended to you by YouTube.